Hello, everybody. We'll just, while everybody's joining and getting comfy in their virtual seats, living rooms, offices, or wherever you are in the world, welcome to another episode. It's actually episode number 20, which is amazing. It's been a very fun journey so far at the Books and Beyond Club, and hopefully we will keep on doing it as long as you, the attendees, want us to. We did have a small break in the month of October. We usually do this episodes once a month, but the month of October was strictly designated for the PMO Leader Global Conference, which was, in our opinion, a real success. And also our attendees, we've had such good feedback from everybody. And if you didn't get the chance to attend, you have the recordings in the AirMeet platform, and soon enough we will move them on the PMO Leader website as well. So if you're not a member of the community, you will be able to access those recordings once you register. But registration is free, and you get access to a lot of useful tools, and so we definitely encourage that. But for today, to resume our insightful discussions here in the book club, we have Carl Canlas, who, amazingly enough, he actually was a panelist in one of our sessions at the conference. And where Carl, you were talking about agile project management. I believe that was your session. So that was an amazing session. It was an amazing discussion. We hope you had a great time at the conference. And because we liked so much and we wanted to piggyback more about your thoughts and experience and lessons learned, we wanted, of course, to have you in the book club, especially as you just authored a book, The Effective IT Project Manager, which I have right here, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I'm going to disappear while the book comes on screen. But you were so nice and sweet to send me a copy of it, and I'm happy it just got in time for this episode. And thank you for joining today. And I'll just shut up and give it a few moments for you to say a few words about yourself, and then we can hit it. How does that sound?
Thank you, Ilinka. So I don't know what really was the path for me for project management. I think I'm one of those um, wanderer in my career, and so I started with actually computer games. I remember during high school, I played a lot of um, computer games such as StarCraft and like Counter Strike, and then from there it developed in me the love for computers, and so that's where my journey began. I was just very lucky to get a scholarship to go to BYU Hawaii, and got my information systems degree there, and then from there we moved to Utah and then have more school, and then now we're here. So I guess I would just say I'm one of those accidental project managers. And I think what I really love about project management, I guess in a fast sense, would be the ability to work with people. As much as I love technology, I think I love working with people, and then moving us all together to a one goal, one vision, or one project outcome, and then ultimately leading it to its project close and then success and lessons learned. So in a brief nutshell, that has been my journey, and happy to be here.
Awesome. And it sounds like it was a very um, intricate journey, but with a good outcome throughout. And by the way, I also liked playing Counter Strike.
But
So I might challenge you for a game if you're still into
it's on. We're gonna play after this.
it. But and now you are a professor, right? In Utah?
That's correct. So I teach project management for the BYU Marriott School of Business, and it's great to have the theoretical research background and at the same time seeing it how it's being done in the floor. Because sometimes I have the textbook answer and it's perfect, and then I go into the field and you'll be surprised like, well, wait, hold on, it's not really being applied in the field, or it changed, it's just different. And so I guess having the perspective of uh, academia and in research, and at the same time seeing it how it's being done in the field are both great knowledge, and at the same time skill set in any PM toolbox. And that's what led me to getting certifications as well, because I'm like, well, I think I know project management, but I don't know it well enough. And so that's what led me on the path to certifications. And I'm really happy about PMI. I know there's a lot of vendor certifications out there and vendor neutral, such as Project Plus, Prince 2. I think it's all of them just have one goal, is to make you successful, and at the same time the company to deliver quality and value adding projects. So with certifications, I spent so much time, cranking out all these test questions, and I mean, I hope I can say I took it one time. I took several tries, really, is to get it into my system, into my mindset, and at the same time, after that, being able to get the cert. So that one opened more doors to promotions, to careers, and at the same time, that burning thought, what is a good project manager? Is a project manager who has a lot of the certs, or maybe none of that, or maybe some form of hybrid. I think that's a big one.
What's the conclusion so far, in your opinion, about having many, none, some certifications?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Good question. I would say that based on some of the data that we were able to gather, and at the same time with some testing, and I hate to say this, that it depends answer,
We're all about the truth.
and here's why. Because um, for one, it's ultimately the stakeholder, because maybe I'm working for X company and their definition of project success is different from project or company A, B, and C. They all have their different success criteria. Maybe for company A, they really just value, okay, if you meet the scope and time, you're good. And then you come to company B, they'll be like, it's all over quality. We need to know what the quality of the project is. And so with a lot of different criteria, to be able to hire and keep a project manager within your organization, it must be a fit within the company's mission, vision, goals, and stakeholder objectives. And I would say that the certification is definitely a guarantee to show that I know what I'm talking about, but it's not a 100% predictor of success, because project management, like any other profession, is really a learnable skill. And what it comes down to is that if it's a learnable skill and I can learn that, and not through multiple choice questions, because again, the other side of certification would be I have this 50 certifications, but at the end of the day, I still don't know what a risk register is, or I still don't know how to make a project plan. So I would say that a healthy balance is always the key, but having certifications is not a 100% predictor of project success.
Okay. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. Eh, in my experience, I've seen in different industries different requirements, and I think different times have also seen different requirements. Like, for example, I work primarily in healthcare and pharmaceuticals, and what I noticed is that when I started, project managers had to have a PMP in order to be hired. But when I started, that stopped. It wasn't a requirement anymore. So they were hiring project managers just as a role based on just the skill set without a certification in hand. Now I'm not sure, because I haven't caught both of them. I'm not sure, how better the ones with certifications were, versus the other ones. The ones I had around me were pretty good mentors, and not all of them had certifications. So, yeah, but I think that makes a lot of sense. And I'm assuming that there are industries which still require certain certifications, um, for, I guess, certain aspects of project management.
That's
Uh,
correct. That's correct. And I think there will come a time when project management will be a highly regulated industry as well, such as having a CPA or an MD or even an automotive technician in your local uh, auto shop. They are certified, and sometimes they are required by law, and some are not. But I feel like, and again, this is just wording to my thoughts, that at some point in the near future, project management can be a highly regulated industry, and similar to other professions. And the reason, because there's a lot of well, not to mention the obvious, the budget. There's a lot of stakeholder budget that is given to a project manager. Okay, here you go. This is X amount of dollars, and sometimes in the millions. You mentioned about healthcare, software, and any other industry. These are your stakeholders' money, and they want their return of investment. And we just can't say that, well, in the project management world, it's okay to have projects that are delivered late. You know what? Projects are always over budget, and that's okay. I think that has to change. I know that it's a mind bomb, when we say, okay, it's gonna be delivered on time, on schedule, and on budget.
that never happens.
It doesn't. It rarely happens. It's in a la la land of somewhere. Uh, but yeah, hopefully we get there, because I think about, well, if it's my money, I want to make sure that I stay within budget, I stay within the scope, and I stay within the time. The triple constraints has to be managed, just like any other industry. And so I would say that we're going to get there. It's just that there's so many moving pieces that a project manager or the project management industry does. And not to mention, we don't have direct reports sometimes. We just have dotted lines to everybody, and they don't report to you at all. And they have 70 other projects going on, and maybe I'll just put your project last. And all of those coordination within the company has to be factored in as well.
And that's when I guess the communication aspect becomes, and the relationship building aspect becomes, your main tool for success, because you don't have direct reports and you have to establish these good relationships with people so that everybody gets the win-win out of, working for your project. um, I guess, but yeah,
That, that-
that's what I've seen in my experience.
that's
So
correct.
what made you, because reading your bio, you pretty much started with information technology and pretty much pursued it throughout your career so far. Maybe going deeper and deeper, and then adding the project management component. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Um,
So
yeah.
how? you get to writing a book?
Yeah, yeah. So I would say that the ability to speak the language, because I started as a software developer before becoming an IT project manager, and so I was on the floor. I was with the developer, the QA. I see Scrum all day. I see retrospectives. I can see the daily stand up, the dashboard, and so I think that experience helped me to know and speak their language, because once I became the project manager, I was like, okay, you estimated it 5 days. I think maybe we can factor in like 3 days on that, or maybe that's actually 11 days. That's an epic. Having that foundation really helped me before coming to the management arena, and so from there I was able to see the dynamics of different teams as well and different organizations, because the ability to research and see different case studies around the world, and then publications of different scientists and different people in our project management industry, and then putting all in the book that I have right now. I think it's just fascinating to see really how it all comes together. Now, is it something that's really easy to implement? Yes, but and there's always that but where it's easy to execute, but seeing the results may take time. It will rely on the maturity of the organization, and at the same time our ability to work well with others. It was stated once that technology is perfect, but once you put humans in there, it becomes a challenge sometimes, right? So I would say that led me to through that. I was able to document what I've seen as a person on the floor, and then a person on management, and then having that academic background to see it all come together as well. And when you teach project management, it's hard not to combine it with work experience. And I'm sure, Ilinka, you've seen that in the healthcare as well, that the textbook says that we have to create a project plan, and once we have that project plan, everything's gonna be a breeze. Well, well, guess what? There's gonna be a lot of changes that you have to manage. There's gonna be scope creep, new requirements. We don't have budget. We don't have money. How are you going to handle all of that? So project management is also is as much of a science it is. It's also an art. So it's an art and a science that you have to factor in that soft quality as well, that being able to work well with others, and at the same time using the project management principles that we learn from PMI, from Project Management Institute, or from any governing body out there that promotes and support project management.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that is indeed. I like how you put it. It's a science and an art. I think I think that that pretty much encompasses what we do. We are artists, and yeah. How do you find? I guess how do you find working? You work with students, or do you work with adults? Is it more of an MBA type of program that you teach for?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, both. So I do undergrad, grad, as well as executive, and you will see. So when you work with undergrads, they're really having that fresh mindset and very
Mhm.
coachable. They're very eager to learn and ready just to take on everything, and they will read the books, and and pass the exams. When you go to the graduate level, it will be a different mindset because they're done and passed with those tests already. You don't need to tell them multiple choice and all of that. When you go with the graduate level, they're more on the application side because they're just ready to work, or most of them do have 3 to 5 years of work experience, and it's a different level of discussion. I can see that. And then working with at the same time with doctoral students as well, um, that I coach and advise. Now bring that all in to people who are in the field, who may have a degree or not because of their circumstances, but it's another level of playing field. It's a different playing field with those that are actually doing project management full time for their respective company. So I would say that um, it has that different understanding because when I talk to you, Ilinka, and I say cost management of projects, we have like that flood of emotion and thoughts that, oh, it's really hard to get management to give me budget, or um, our budgets are always going over. You know, you have that flood of experience that comes through you, and mine as well. But when you tell this to, let's just say, students who have no work experience, you say cost management, that's about it. It's just on the definition level of, okay, we need to manage the budget. That's all there is to it. And then when you have practitioners, when you drop the word cost management, they'll be like, oh, be
No.
ready. Yep, yep. Be ready, and it's gonna be an uphill battle, and you gotta be always on your feet and be ready. So I think the level of understanding, conversation, and experiences enhances your wealth of knowledge within project management. It's nice to go back and forth. Talking with people in the industry, bringing it to school, and what we're learning in school, bringing it to the industry. It's really a neat experience, and I think that helps you become a more effective project manager because I think just like any, I think I can compare it to any good dish. There's a lot of components that goes into it to make it a really good dish. Let's say your favorite beef stew, or maybe we can go with cakes. There's a lot of components that go into making this delicious and great food. The same thing with the being an effective project manager. There's a lot of things that you have to put in and invest to really help you with your career.
Yeah, and I think I wonder if it's not done, I think it would be fun to put the students together with the executives or the practitioners just to have some form of debate because they might get good ideas onto each other, right? Because as you said, when sometimes, I mean, our experience is great. It makes us grow, but sometimes because of kind of knowing how certain things work, we might also get blocked by our own, past experience. Like cost management is going to be tricky, but you know, put in front with a person who doesn't know, they might have that, as you mentioned, fresh mindset, and they might actually give you ideas on how to make it work.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I've actually have seen that multiple times because as I teach, I try to bring in industry experts as well, and I would love to bring you in, Ilinka, in one of these days as well, because you will see how they have the confidence, but we have the experience. It's just like teaching your child to walk, and they'll be like, no, no, I know how to do this. I can walk, I can ride my bike, I can drive a car. And in your mind you'll be like, you'll get there, you'll get there. um, but we also don't discount the fact that, well, because they're not afraid to try, sometimes we let them drive as well, and we see they go great strides that, hey, oh, actually it does work. They have fresh set of eyes, new
Mhm.
perspectives that will propel any project to success and close.
Were they when you wrote the book? Did you have any like for the research component? Did you have students participate in writing the book, or did you just is this book just by yourself, written by yourself?
Yeah, it was mostly by myself. I think there's a couple in the works that I would like to collaborate, but I think being able to create survey and at the same time gather responses, I think that was the fun thing about the effective IT project manager book, because I think once you have everything, you have the theory, you have the paper and then the structure done in writing this book. Not only did I do that, but I also tested it as well. And so I tried to see, okay, well, this is the population that I got, and most of them are project managers, and they're saying that this is what you need to be successful. Well, I also have some project managers coming from the different industry, different part of the world that are saying, no, no, we actually don't need that. And so you have to, in a way, reconcile those perspectives and those alternatives into a cohesive plan or structure so that other people can follow, because at, at at most we want to know what successful companies are doing so we can replicate that in our own company, and also lessons learned from failed projects, because I think the famous quote that it's better to learn from the failure of others, if it's already there, so we can in a way avoid those. So I'd say that the ability to test the concepts is very important, in any research that you do.
So, so this book is basically a combination of ideas or lessons learned from project managers around the world. You gathered the information, or is it
Yeah,
more so your own experience?
I would say it's a mix,
Hmm.
and
That's
and
always
also from published papers that we already have. I think that's the beauty of the academia world, is they have a lot of published papers that we can learn from dating from the 1900s all the way to the present day. I mean, within that amount of information and data analytics, and combining them to what is relevant to project management. Now, I have one thing to say though, that there needs to happen more research in project management than other fields, because you see a lot of the science department, they have millions of research conducted worldwide. You go to engineering, there's also a lot of research published in there. But with project management, I think it's kind of a struggle, almost, because there's not a lot of research in comparison to the field of science or engineering or the humanities. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities for all of us to contribute the experiences that we see, the relationships that we develop, and ultimately really just arriving to what is the road to a project success. and and right now the flavor of the decade, I guess, is agile, right? For a very long time it was iterative, it was the predictive method. Now we're doing a lot of agile. What would be next? Like in the next 5 years, would it be called something entirely different? I mean, I've seen disciplined agile, and then we have scaled agile, and I don't know what's going to be next. That's hard to predict, and hopefully we'll get there faster than we can, because once you get into that formula of project success, it will really help our organizations to deliver more value.
Well, I guess the world will have to speak up and say what they think is best, right? In
Yeah,
terms of project management evolves, and what I guess what are the best approaches to it. They can
yeah.
call it what they want. The second.
that's that's right. Because the recent merger, the PMI PMO merger, that's a great development in our space, because there's gonna be more collaboration. There's going to be more um, practice and lessons learned that we can share to each other. Because if you just live in a silo, it's going to be difficult, because you're going to be learning by trial and error. But if you already have the resources out there, then plus not to mention the internet, I think I can learn how they do projects in China, or here in Texas, or in Canada. So having that ability to gather all of those experiences into your localized area, and just take in what applies and what doesn't apply, can really help you with your projects.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. And I think that you brought up a good point, the fact that community type of organizations are collaborating more with PMI and vice versa, I think, or not just PMI, but in general, any body that regulates the project management industry, and provide certifications and all that, all those tools. I think that's good, because usually people go, or at least I'm not a certified project manager, but what I've noticed is that you, as a professional, you would go to PMI, you would take your certifications, but then you wouldn't have any follow up to that. Meaning that if you want to do anything or get some lessons learned from somebody, you would go to one of these organizations like the PMO Leader or PMOGA, or others out there, and seek others' opinion. You don't have that continuity with, let's say, PMI. So there's a lot of people getting their certifications, but then maybe not exactly knowing how to apply them or what to do with them. So the fact that these entities are starting to work together is definitely proof that the industry is becoming closer, I guess, and more oriented towards, hey, let's be working together to bring more value to this industry. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Um, but in your experience, because it's so much widely into the project management in IT, and of course the book itself is pretty much the effective IT project manager. And I'm thinking that we have a lot of people in the PMO Leader who are in the IT space, and I'm sure they would be curious to know, what do you think are, I guess, the certifications that would make them more effective in their role as an IT project manager?
Good question. Good question. I think, and it's a hard one, because honestly, that the research that was made with the book is that there wasn't a definitive conclusion of which certification, but more of the intangibles. Meaning, if you're a good communicator, If you know how to manage your budget and if you know how to set the scope, then that will definitely make you a successful project manager. Now, it just so happened that if I can validate that knowledge as well and get, let's just say, the certified associate in project management, the CAPM, or the project management professional, you can have your Prince 2 or your Project Plus from CompTIA. All of those would show an employer that, hey, I know what I'm talking about. I have this on paper. Now, does it guarantee 100% for IT project managers, like what you've mentioned? Um, to a certain degree, it will, but after that, it really will boil down to your experience and your ability to apply those principles. I know a lot of certified project managers that would just review for 3 months, very intense, and they will read the book and they will take like 1,000 practice questions, and then they can pass the exam. But then once you put them in the field, they really don't have all that experience needed for the job. And so I guess it's almost a double-edged sword, because that brings, in a way, shame to the profession, because they're like, well, you took this test, and still you don't know what principles you have to really apply in project management. So definitely any entry level project management certification is a beginner, is our help. And I'm not discounting the fact that we also have LinkedIn, Coursera, we have YouTube videos from seasoned project managers that can help you understand project management as well. And then community colleges, of which I do love the university part, where you can go to school and learn about managing risks, managing projects. So I would say that whenever we take on those beginner, and then we go to the next step until we become proficient and at the expert level. So I would highly encourage all project managers to definitely master the basics. Once we master the basics, we can continually enhance our skill set, and at the same time, that continuous learning, we just can't stop. Like you would think that, well, I already know the definitions, I already read the book, I'm done. Well, guess what, in the next 2 weeks maybe it's gonna be outdated. Also, in the IT and healthcare industry, what's gonna be the next development or breakthrough within the healthcare? I mean, we just finished COVID. What's next? How can we create the vaccines through rapid project management? That we always have to be one step ahead of other industries, because they're relying on us to build these projects for them. And then you mentioned about construction, and at the same time development within the countries. So that's pretty short answer. I would always master the basics. I want to get as much books, as much resources that I can, a combination of everything. And then once I have that basics, foundations done, then I would want to go specialize. So maybe you want project management, at the same time you want security or data analytics. Well, I need to put in artificial intelligence as well, because PMI just released something about AI as well, because we're going to adopt large language models. And maybe you want to go into cybersecurity. There's a lot of fields that we can all specialize in too.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What did they release? Sorry, I wasn't aware the PMI released something about the AI. Was it
Yeah, they're offering a free course, and you can get a badge for that. And it's it's all about artificial intelligence. And then we got open courseware from different schools as well that helps teaches us about data analytics,
Mhm.
business intelligence, data mining, because nowadays with a lot of the information of the world available on your laptop, the question is, how can I make all of this information useful so I can create a successful project? Because let's say for procurement, there's a tool out there that can scout all the materials that can be delivered by this X date for a cheaper cost, and you factor all of those in your project plan, boom, you're one step ahead of your competitor. But if you don't have um, all of those AI generated information that will help a project manager um, elevate their profession, you're going to just be left behind by the competition. And so I think I would challenge all of us to be world class, become world class project managers as well by getting as much um, knowledge and at the same time experience. I will mention that don't be afraid to fail. I think that's the main lesson from agile as well, is because people that always try and fail, they tend to be better the next round. So don't be afraid to experiment, because I've been with project managers that are earning millions, and project managers that are just starting out, and it feels like we're all just learning and growing in this field.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's very true, and it's not really failing; it's just trying a different way of doing things. So, yeah. So what is your I guess what is your opinion over the AI, or whatever is to come? Do you think it's going to be a challenge? Do you think it's going to be a helpful tool? I kind of gathered some of your thoughts from what you were just saying, but I don't want to make assumptions.
No, 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 it's good.
I
I
know
think
everybody has a different opinion at this time. We probably don't know too much information about it yet, but yeah, I'm just curious what your thoughts are.
yeah, thank you. I feel like more than anything, this is going to be a tool for us to become better. A lot of project managers are cramming right now, and we're like, I gotta change profession because we're project managers are gonna be gone in 10 years. They don't need us anymore. The robots will do it for us. I think at to some extent they are true, but for the most part we are still the masters, or we are still the one that will be driving this innovation. If anything, it will enhance our skill set. So let's just say, before you used to write the project plan, you used to do the budget. Now we have complex and advanced Excel sheets that does that for us. And now as the human, you're the one who's going to interpret and set the direction for your company or your projects. And so although they did all the calculations for you, at the end of the day it's still the project manager who will make those decisions. So I would say that AI will definitely be a game changer, but at the same time, the responsibility lies within us of where do we want to take this innovation and help us within our industry. And never forget that our true intent is to deliver value, because let's just say you checked all the boxes, but it's not valuable to our customer anymore, then that's difficult, because I've seen it to where some project managers would be overly concerned about hitting all these KPIs, the key performance indicators, but really it doesn't matter to your customer. So I think we have to be very cautious about that as well. So a healthy mix of innovation and ultimately delivering value.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yep. I tend to, I don't know too much about it, but I tend to think back to a presentation I've heard where somebody was just saying, if the AI tool will be capable of producing even, I don't know, 50% of what you as a project manager would have to do, just take it and use it in your favor instead of trying to doubt it and do the work yourselves. And he was primarily referring to different, like our trackers and all of that stuff. um, so I think, yeah, I think if we use it right, I think that we can definitely make it our friend. And at the end of the day, I don't think we'll be able to take away the relationship building and the communication aspect, which is, in my opinion, a main component of being a project manager. So I don't think that the role will disappear. I think that those people are maybe.
We want to keep our jobs, right?
uh, but yes, I guess. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, companies around the world don't think that a project manager's role is only in producing trackers, because that's definitely a downsize of our role if that's the case.
Definitely, because I feel like more than anything, our role is we're like the mini CEOs of certain company or organization that we want to
You have a project.
make project successful, and we want to really help our company as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, well, good thoughts. Thank you for sharing. Some people I know might be reluctant to, discussing going too much into the AI topic just because it's so taboo. I think at this stage. But going back to your book, um, what are the key takeaways? First of all, I just want to appraise the fact that I really love that it is short and small, and it's very easy to read. I didn't, of course, I only had the chance to skim it because I just got it, but after our discussion, I plan to start going through it, deep diving into it. But I did notice that you made it in a way that is very casual, I think,
Hmm.
easy to read and to have handy. But what would be the key takeaways, in your opinion, from the book?
Good question. Good question. I would say that the key takeaways for the book, as we have it on all five chapters. Just trying to. Yep, there you go. um, I would say that when I mentioned a while ago about learning the basics and then ultimately driving to project success, I think we cannot miss any steps as we grow into our role or within the project management industry. I feel that this is related to human development, where before we run, we learn how to crawl, we walk, and then we run. As project managers, once we have mastered the fundamentals of initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, knowing those five stages. Why are they important? Why are relationships important? Why do we do all these things and know holistically about the projects? And then from there, we will have that maturity to take it to the next level, to where we are speaking within leadership, setting vision, and at the same time managing our people to make sure that we all play well in the sandbox, and then from there we can see that our projects are moving. And then I would say that towards, because projects are temporary really, and so we need to close these projects, get to retrospectives, and then start all over again. If you're not, if you have forever projects, that would be operations. And so that would be a fine line. There should be a line there. It can't be a forever project. Projects are temporary, and so we saw that from the five stages of initiate, plan, execute, monitor, and control, to having stakeholder needs and setting visions, to ultimately closing our projects and becoming better. And so I would say that enjoy the process as a project manager, or any titles within project management, because if you feel like, you know what, agile's not working, I'm going to give up. I don't need any more of that continuous improvement, continuous delivery. Well, sometimes you just have to go through the process, and maybe you are going to take some losses here and there, but that's how we become better. So I would say that the main takeaway is go through the process, master, and then from there you'll have more success, experience, and at the same time maturity within project management.
How do you feel about, and that's a great takeaway. I think enjoy the process, go through the process. And in kind of in addition to this, do you feel having a mentor is a good idea? Did you have
Oh,
a mentor
100,
as
oh,
well?
100%, Ilinka. When we had that PMO conference, and I want to
Mhm.
thank you for creating that and managing that. I mean, everybody around the world, I can just pick any names from those attendees and speakers, and I would love them to be my mentor, because I know they've been to war. They have their war stories, their project war stories. Um, and that would give me the confidence of, hey, these are the things that I need to do and some of the things that I have to avoid. And then when I get there, and I have to experience it myself as well. So the value of mentorship is 100% needed in our industry, because they just shine the light for you, so that in a way protecting you from things that may be a blind spot for you, that you haven't thought of, or some things that I've learned within my experience. Now, the other side of the coin, though, is be careful of bad mentors as well, because some of the mentors may, some of them are, you might have to question of, well, I think I can do better, or I think I can still become successful regardless or irrespective of his thoughts and opinions. So make sure you have that balancing act of finding really good mentors, and at the same time learning from those that are still working on some of them, um, because yeah, it's something that we all have to experience.
Have you had such experiences of bad mentors, or mentors, not necessarily bad mentors, but mentors that were not necessarily fitted for what you were looking for?
Whew, where
I'm
do
not
I
for the
start? Where do I start? Um,
okay.
well, I think it's really good to have them as well. I mean, I'm not perfect as well. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes in projects as well, and even up until now, I'm still working on continuous improvement. And I think even up to the last project that we will have in our lifetime, it will always be a, I can get better at this. So I think once you take what's good, and I think the bad ones we learn from those, um, because I would say that we all have our different styles, mannerisms, and tools that we love to use within project management, and I think we just have to be comfortable with ourselves. Like I like the things that this project manager A is doing, but I think maybe for the most part I'll also take what project manager C is doing and incorporate that into my career because you'll be able to discern it. I think I can almost guarantee that to anyone that's doing project management that you will have your own style, you will have your own perspective, and you just have to be you. And and if that's working for your organization, great. And if there's some tweaking and adjustments that need to happen, then so be it. So I would say always learn and adapt, and you'll see yourself there.
So all in all, be agile.
There you go. Yeah. We gotta be agile because all these things that change, and we can't just have a stagnant mindset because it's going to be difficult.
I don't think there was ever a good project manager in history that wasn't open, that didn't have an open mindset. I think all the good ones that were, are, and probably will be, it's probably a trade definition to have that open mindset and, take in um, and explore all the vast that you have. Um, Carl, this was really nice. Thank you for taking this hour to walk us through. We're pretty much, I guess, done to the hour. But is there anything else and any closing notes that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I would just would like to personally thank you as well, Linka, for the ability to generate the conference, our book sessions. Thank you for all that you do within the industry. I would just encourage everybody to, again, as I've mentioned, that don't be afraid to fail. As Ilinka has mentioned as well, get mentorship from the good ones and the ones that we can also develop within ourselves. And I would say that lastly, don't be um, always test your hypothesis because I think within project management, you always have to test if this is gonna work, or maybe that's not gonna work, or maybe I don't know. It cannot always be a silver bullet, and so test your hypothesis and then learn from it, and then go back again. Agile principles that we have to work on will definitely make us an effective project manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. This was really good. This was great, actually. It was not really good. Sorry. I was thinking of what I want to say next. But first of all, to everybody, this is a wrap. But if you want the continuation of it, go ahead and check out the link on Amazon that's in the chat, which is going to take you to Carl's book. And yeah, if you need to reach out to him and have any questions or follow up from the book, I'm sure you can find him on LinkedIn. Is that correct, Carl? That would be your main contact, the way to
Yep,
contact. Yep.
definitely.
So go ahead and do that. This is what we do. Project managers have to talk to each other and share, and yeah. So go ahead and do that. And thank you for watching this episode. You will see the recording. It's going to pop up pretty quickly on the PMO Leader YouTube channel, where you also can find like the other like previous 19 episodes. Whoever's collecting, registering PDUs, go ahead and do that as well, because each of these sessions is 1 hour long. So you have 20. That means 20 hours of PDUs that register if that's something that you do. Also about the mentorship, I do want to take a moment, because for those who didn't attend the conference, you might have noticed, you probably don't know that the PMO leader has launched a mentorship program, which is that this is the first wave, and the applications are ongoing, I believe, up until the end of this month. So if that's something that interests you, to be a mentor or a mentee within the PMO space, check the PMO Leader website and you'll see there more details about the mentorship program. We expect it to be really a really cool initiative, and hopefully very valuable to all the people who enroll. Um, yeah, that's. Oh, thank you, Carl. And you put your profile there. Perfect. Awesome. And yeah, and we will continue our series next month, December. We will have a special holiday episode. Guest is not yet to be revealed, but you will find out more on LinkedIn when the time comes. In the meantime, Carl, it was a real pleasure. Hopefully, we will hear and see you again soon. And you have a great, wonderful rest of your day, and also a nice weekend. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Ilinka. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Until next time.